Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers vs. Commanders, 5 questions with the enemy ahead of Week 10. It's been amazing for fans. In some ways, it compares to RG3's rookie year, where we shocked the NFL with how well we played and how bright the future looked. However, the fundamentals behind this turnaround seem much better, so I think this improvement is more sustainable. The biggest difference is that we have new ownership. New owner Josh Harris has been good, former owner Dan Snyder was the worst in the NFL. In addition though, we have a professional GM in Adam Peters. We didn't trade away a bunch of future draft capital to get our QB, and Jaden Daniels seems like a legitimate pocket passer who can win entirely from the pocket, unlike RG3. The most surprising thing other than generally how good we've been is how well coached we've looked in all phases of the game. The coaching staff was probably the biggest question mark for fans heading into the season, but they have a rebuilt team with, on paper, what should be a humble roster playing way better as a whole than the sum of their parts. Since Week 2, the players have seemed very prepared and in sync in each game, and the vibes coming out of the locker room are great too. He's a cerebral QB with pinpoint accuracy on most throws, excellent throwing technique, and an advanced ability to recognize the defensive alignment, call protections, and process quickly what is happening around him on the field. In addition to that, he has an excellent sense for pressure and the athleticism to scramble with his legs and evade pressure to either buy more time to throw or simply make a big gain himself with his legs. I think the biggest thing that makes him stand out from other rookie QBs is his maturity though. In many ways, he acts like an NFL veteran. He's one of the first players to the facility every day, studies film and practices constantly, stays calm under pressure in games, and quietly commands the locker room. The team's biggest need was a boundary CB who can shut down top WRs one-on-one, and we got that with Marshawn Lattimore. This weakness was exposed in our game with the Ravens, where we had to load the box to stop Derrick Henry, but that left our CBs one-on-one with Zay Flowers on the boundary and allowed Flowers to have a monster game against us. Having a CB like Lattimore, who can shut down most WRs one-on-one, gives the defense a lot more flexibility in how to use our safeties. Lattimore is listed with a hamstring injury, which could affect his availability this week, but there are also some reports that, similar to the hamstring injury of Devontae Adams, his injury will magically clear up after a trade, so I'd say just watch the practice reports, and if he practices on Friday, he will probably play. Schematically, the Commanders' offense and defense have done a good job adapting to our opponent each week, so I wouldn't say there are schematic things to attack so much as weaker personnel to attack. Although we are probably weaker at OT than IOL, our OTs have still been playing pretty well and our coaches have been helping them out with lots of chips on the outside of the line, so we haven't given up many pressures. First call, Paul Skeens, Livy Dunn to appear on ESPN's College Game Day, key Ravens injury before Steelers game. Tribalive's daily and weekly email newsletters deliver the news you want and information you need, right to your inbox. Friday's First Call features some fun for Pittsburgh Pirates starter Paul Skeens. The Ravens may have lost a key player in advance of their game against the Steelers next week. Najee Harris shares his thoughts on Saquon Barkley's jaw-dropping highlight last week. We look at bounce-back opportunities for Pitt and Penn State, while Duquesne and Robert Morris square off for first place in the NEC. Pick 'em Paul Pirates All-Star Paul Skeens is going to be the celebrity guest picker at the end of ESPN's College Game Day on Saturday in Baton Rouge in advance of LSU Alabama. Skeens is an LSU alum. He will be joined on set by his girlfriend Livy Dunn. She is a Tigers gymnast with 5.3 million followers on Instagram. She confirmed the news herself on social media. At the end of every College Game Day broadcast, just before noon, ESPN usually invites a celebrity on set with some sort of connection to the hometown school to make a batch of predictions. In this case, Skeens and Dunn are teaming up for Saturday's broadcast. Last week at Penn State, For instance, actor/comedian Keegan-Michael Key was the celebrity picker. He received a master's degree from PSU. The Pirates drafted Skeens #1 overall out of LSU in 2023 after he started his college career at Air Force. Not for Najee. Steelers running back Najee Harris has been known to hurdle a defensive player or two during his time in the NFL. However, he has never jumped over a defender backward in the middle of a run like Saquon Barkley did for the Philadelphia Eagles last weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars. As impressive as that move was, Harris says he is not going to try to replicate it. "I've always been a fan of Saquon. I'm not trying that, though." That's the play of the year, Harris told reporters Thursday. "That was wild. To see a guy catch the ball in space, do a spin, then jump over somebody backward. I never tried that. I'm never gonna try that. Just having that type of athleticism is freaky." Harris has 3 straight games of over 100 rushing yards. "I'm never gonna try that." Najee Harris in awe of Saquon Barkley's backwards hurdle. RB Najee Harris has hops. He can hurdle in the open field. But backwards? Put that in the never gonna happen category. He's not alone. About the only running back crazy enough to try, let alone pull off, is the Philadelphia Eagles' Saquon Barkley. Commenting on Barkley's incredible play last weekend, all Harris could do is tip his cap. "That's play of the year," Harris said via 93.7 The Fan. "That was wild. To see a guy obviously catch the ball in space like Saquon, do a spin it, then jump over somebody backwards. I never tried that. I'm never gonna try that. Just having that type of athleticism is freaky." For those who somehow missed it or just want to marvel at the moment again, Barkley caught a short pass in the Eagles' Week 9 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. He spun away from one defender and then, while backwards, hurdled DB Jerrion Jones, clearing him cleanly and landing on his feet for a couple extra yards. A jaw-dropping play even by the NFL's standards, and one that even his teammates couldn't believe. Najee Harris has hurdled players dating back to college and had a great one the week before against the New York Giants. But doing it in reverse? It's not something Harris ever plans to do. "I've always been a fan of Saquon. I'm not trying that though," he said. What Harris will try to mimic is Barkley's contract. He inked a 3-year, $37.5 million deal with the Eagles after years with their rival Giants. So far, the move has paid off. Through 8 games, Barkley has a gaudy 5.9 yards per carry and has nearly rushed 1,000 yards rushing with more than half his season to go. He's fit seamlessly into the Eagles' run game, a varied attack with QB Jalen Hurts also a big-time rushing threat. A pending free agent having his best season, Harris will look to round out the year strong in cash in during the 2025 offseason. He probably won't each Barkley's numbers but could aim for $10 million per season. After declining his cheaper 5th-year option in May, Pittsburgh will have to decide if he's worth it. Harris and Barkley will meet in 5 weeks when the Steelers and Eagles square off in Week 15. For the first time, our scouting report will include watch out for the backwards hurdle. And maybe Harris can learn how to pull off the move, though for his body's sake, he's best not to try until securing a long-term deal. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Saquon Barkley? Leave your opinion in the comments.